Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to some more Sam O'Nella, and the video is Creative Weapons of the Medieval Era. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's self-explanatory, but in terms of like weapons, when was the medieval times? I don't even know, man. I'm guessing like the 1500s. No, the medieval times was like when the Anglo-Saxons, no? Wait, did I spell it right? No. Time. Medieval era, I guess. I want to see. Actually, no. Also, the 5th to the 15th century, so I was right. Okay. So, when was the first gun made? What was the first gun? Was it a musket? I think it was a musket. No, it wasn't. Fire lance. Wait, and the first firearm was the fire lance, which appeared in China between the 10th and 12th centuries. It was depicted in a silk painting dated to the mid-10th, but textual evidence of it does not appear until 1132. And what was the fire lance? What did it look like? Sorry, I'm starting the video like this because I do want to see. I want to get a bit of context before we get into it. Fire lance. It looks like a spear. Okay, so it's like a cannon. What? I want to try and get, I guess, this one. So it's massive. It's absolutely huge. Okay, so that's the little bit of context we got at the start. But yeah, so we're going to just jump into this. Hopefully you're going to enjoy. And if you want more Sam O'Nella, please let me know, because I do enjoy the reactions to the channel. I'll do them anyway, to be honest. They do quite well on the channel and I enjoy doing them. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing them. But yeah, let's jump into this. Links are in the description to my Patreon if you want to see some more videos of mine. And yeah, let's just jump into this.
Hey kids, when most people think of the Middle Ages, they think of them as being like humanity's dumb teenage years, where all we did was play harpsichord in our room and burn heretics with our friends. But that's not entirely true. In fact, I would argue that the medieval era saw just as much genius as any other period in time. It's just most of that genius went towards finding new and creative ways to brutally slaughter those you disagree with. Here's a few highlights. First, we'll talk about the Warwolf. So, as you can imagine, medieval castles were not easy to break into. They were basically like those jungle gym things at Chuck E. Cheese's. Massive in size, intentionally confusing layout, security everywhere, and by the end of your visit, you'd probably end up with some kind of disease. So in order to help penetrate fortresses, medieval armies would often utilize siege weapons, one of the most popular of which was the trebuchet. Now this device is interesting enough on its own, but it gets better. So around 1300 AD, King Edward I of England was in the process of invading Scotland. However, one fortress...
Not a slingshot. No, I've seen this in games before. In video games. I remember when I was in school, I used to play this game where like you'd have to defend your castle or like your area, and you'd get all these medieval weapons, and you'd slowly evolve through time until you get like futuristic weapons. What was it called? Oh, I used to love that game in school, man. Instead of doing ICT or computer science, I'd just play that game, and I wonder why I failed. But what was it called? Fuck's sake. Well, I remember seeing stuff like that, so maybe I'll see a few other weapons that I remember seeing. I don't know why I said slingshot. What actually is a slingshot? Is a slingshot the one that you just like have on a stick? It's like a stick combined, and then like you hold it and you just sling. That's a slingshot, isn't it? But there's a bigger version.
As Stirling Castle was giving him a lot of trouble. He laid siege to the building for many months without any real progress. Then one day he woke up and had a revelation. Hey guys, listen, why are we wasting our time building all these regular sized trebuchets when we could just build one giant one and call it a day? So that's what he did. This gargantuan war machine was known as the Warwolf and stood at around 6 stories tall. To give a bit of perspective, this is about as tall as King Kong was in his largest film depiction. So basically, picture a giant fucking ape launching boulders like they're baseballs, and you've got a pretty good idea of what the Warwolf was capable of. It was so intimidating that when the Scots saw the English constructing the beast outside the castle, they immediately surrendered out of fear. But then Edward was like, ha, fuck that, I'm gonna test this bad boy out, and proceeded to take pot shots on the castle anyway. Another devious product of the Middle Ages was a flammable substance known as Greek fire. Contrary to popular belief, Greek fire was not invented by the ancient Greeks. Rick Riordan, you lying prick. It was actually invented in the 7th century AD by the Byzantines, who happened to inhabit Greece at the time. Historians still don't know exactly what it was made of, but they do know that it acted a lot like napalm, sticking to ships, sticking to people, even floating and continuing to burn on the surface of the water. The Byzantines also had these siphon-like tubes that they'd put on the front of their boats to pour Greek fire on the enemy, kinda like makeshift flamethrowers. These were retired pretty quickly though, mostly because when you put the words makeshift and flamethrower next to each other, you're bound to run into some problems eventually. Our next bright idea comes from a woman known as Olga of Kiev. So Olga was a princess who ruled the area around the capital of modern-day Ukraine from 945 to 963 AD, and she had quite a track record for being just a total badass. For example, the Drevlians, a tribe of people under Kiev's control, once sent 20 men to Kiev in order to convince Olga to marry their prince, under the pretense that if they did marry, the prince could claim her rule over Kiev. In response, she had all 20 of them buried alive. She then sent a letter to the prince saying she accepted his proposal, but she would need a bunch of his most distinguished governors to
Dear Prince, you hot, give all your admins to me, plox.
Escort her on the journey. Once the men showed up, Olga was like, "Hey guys, long journey, huh? How'd you like to take a bath in this here bathhouse?" They were like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great." "Okay, have fun, you guys."
Oh no, they left them in there, didn't they? Yep.
Man, it's like a
Brutal.
sauna in here. It is a sauna, dipshit. You have a point. So long story short, this lady just did not give a heck.
I love that editing because it's so simple, but it's so effective.
My favorite story about her starts with her besieging a Drevlian city that refused to pay tribute to her. The people in the city were already well aware of the type of rampaging that Olga was capable of, so they were already scared shitless. But when she showed up, she was like, "Alright, you know what guys, I'm gonna play nice. Just bring me 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows from each household and I'll be on my way." Okay. What are they for exactly? We're just hungry. I mean, we got some food too. We could just give— I'm sorry, did I fucking stutter? Alright, birds it is. Then, once the creatures were in Olga's hands, she had each of her soldiers tie a cloth-bound piece of sulfur to one of the birds' feet, which was then set alight. The birds were then released all at once, and when they flew back into the city, their nests acted like little
Bro, these are like missiles before missiles, man. It's so weird how creative they must have gotten, like, to make these kinds of things. Like, bro, these poor birds. So unaware of what it's doing to the world, or to the city, or to itself. God damn, imagine the RSPCA. Not the RSPCA. That isn't in the US, and it's not what I'm looking for. What's it called? What's the animal rights thing company called? But it's like, they try and ban, like, words related to animals, like sayings that involve animals or stuff like that. What is it called? Two birds in one stone. No, try and ban that. What is it called though? Fuck's sake, I can't remember the name of it. But like, imagine them in this era, bro. They would have had no chance in hell, bro. They'd be laughed at. I mean, they would have been animal rights activists, I assume, but they ain't getting a foothold on society in that time.
piles of tinder, resulting in nearly every house in the entire city erupting in flames simultaneously.
Holy
And while the
shit.
whole place burned to the ground, Olga just sat and watched. By the way, it's worth mentioning that, after her death, Olga was canonized as a Catholic saint, presumably around the same time as Saint Tiffany, who went around pushing in the soft spots of babies, and Saint Jerry the
That cannot be true. Saint, that is brutal. I think he's just chatting shit, man. If I search this up and nothing comes up, I'm going to look an absolute donut. Baby. Oh my god, it's the first thing that pops up. What an absolute sicko. Oh my days. That is absolutely insanity, bro. What happens if you hit a baby soft spot? Many parents worry. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually known because I've never had a kid, but I know about it. I've never had a kid, of course I haven't. But I know about it, and it's just one of those weird things. There's absolutely no danger of damaging your baby with normal bleeding. Don't be afraid to touch, brush over, or wash over the soft spot. God, the human body is wild.
same time as Saint Tiffany, who went around pushing in the soft spots of babies, and Saint Jerry the goat fucker, who, as the name implies, fucked a lot of goats. In conclusion, pay your taxes. To my loyal subscribers, I'll see you in 3 months. I'm Salmonella, and thank you for watching.
What the fuck? I just want to see, because I don't. Would it have been considered the Trojan horse? What was it again? They like put disease. Nah, what was it? They put something in the horses. Oh no, they brought the gifts of the horse, and then there was people hiding in the horse, and then they when they brought it into the area, they killed them. What was inside? I can't remember. I remember learning about it, but I cannot remember. Oh, it was a virus. I was thinking it was a virus, but I didn't want to say the wrong thing. No, no, no. I'm stupid. There's also true. Okay, what was in the Trojan horse? Because I remember they caught diseases, didn't they? It was filled with, but in. Oh, I'm an idiot. I swear they caught diseases from it, though, didn't they? What's the one where they? I'm thinking of a different event in history, aren't I? Where like people caught diseases. Unless it is this, and I'm just not reading it properly. No, I think I'm thinking of a different thing. Maybe I'm just making something up in my head. But yeah, was that considered a weapon? I guess it was, to be honest. It was a very creative one back in that time. But yeah, interesting video. Salmonella again. But yeah, suggest what you want to see next time from him. And until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.